don't think so.
Cool. Fuck, man. First thing I'll say, 6 months. 6 months in. 6 months in, man.
Yup.
How we feeling?
Feel amazing, dude. Feel amazing. It's been a dope journey so far. I didn't think it was going to be this fun. When we first met, it was a couple of doubts that I had about what we was doing, and not like in a sense or a case where I didn't think it was possible to do what we're doing. I had more doubts of myself. Like, is this something that I really wanted to do? Like, is this something that I can do? And just stuff like that. But like, the more we got into it, I got more like serious about this shit, because anything that I do, like, I take pretty serious. I take pride in really anything that I do. And then, I don't know, like I said, the more we got into it and the people we started to meet and the community we started to build, it just helped me, like, find my place within everything that we got going on. And come stage night, man, a star was born.
Oh, man. Stage night was a fantastic experience. And what I've already told a couple people, and I'll just say it for the record, my favorite moment of the first time that we stepped on stage at that bodybuilding show was actually watching you backstage. And the first moment when you walk on stage, and like I think you're the last, or like one of the last people to walk on,
on the right.
And everyone is like already in their first relaxed mandatory pose, and you're just kind of standing there like
I got a big ass smile on my face.
Yeah. And I'm watching it on the television, and I'm just like, it was just like, oh, this is perfect. And then coach is yelling at you from the audience, hit your pose.
I finally hit that motherfucker. I'm finally getting that shit.
And it was like instantaneous. Like what
I locked in.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, we on?
Yeah.
Game time.
Yep.
Locked in, boom. And I'm talking about, as soon as I got into my first pose, they're moving.
They're
moving to the right. I'm like, oh. So I had to catch up.
Yep.
And by the time they got to the back double, that's when I finally caught up, because it took everybody a little bit longer to set up.
Right.
Once I already knew how I set up, my shit set up fast. Once I set up to that back, I started beating everybody to the fucking poses. Everyone.
And that's what's so interesting about that moment for me, at least, because when I'm backstage and like they've got the TV as to like what's actually happening on stage, and it's not clear. Like it's not like a good.
But you can see.
Yeah, and like that's what's so interesting. It's like as soon as you started hitting the poses, it just like
it was a wrap.
Yeah. So I don't know how, like, that's interesting that worked out, you know?
Yeah.
And you were like the most shredded person at the actual show.
The entire show.
Out of the entire show.
And that says a lot. Like,
yeah.
The work I put into this shit, man, is says a lot about me. I mean, shit. I can go back and just like say shit. Like, my coach just posted something about me yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
And I replied to it, and I'm like, man, that's a dope ass post. And he pretty much go on and say something like, let me see if I can find it really fast. Pretty much in words like, let me see. Pretty much telling me like that everything that I am is what this team pretty much needs. Like what I stand for and shit like that. Like the mentality that I have and stuff like that. So the people around me see it. And it's like, that's what pushes me even harder. Like, I've always said, I've been saying this for the last 4 years. It's like, it ain't never been just about me. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's bigger than me. It was always about my family, for one, first and foremost. Like, I'm not, I never got into bodybuilding because I didn't know that you can make money off of it. Like, right. I didn't know that you can get sponsors, you can do this and do that. So it was hard for me to understand what you can actually do with bodybuilding. So I never wanted to do it. But now that I understand the game and the concept of what I can be in this realm of this sport, I decided that this is what I can do to take my family out of certain situations, and that's what I'm trying to do. But now having a team and shit like that, it's like I'm also trying to make sure that I put this DMF shit to the top and make sure that my coaches and all the people that's around me supporting and loving on me is seen just as much as I'm seen, because it ain't just about me. You know what I'm saying? Like it took a lot, and not just from me, but a lot of people to keep me grounded and and focus on the goal. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I definitely want to like point out. Like, shit, it ain't been easy. It definitely ain't been easy, in a sense where like, if you don't have the people that's around you, you'll fail. Because then that's one thing I feel like if we didn't have DMF, or we didn't have the people around us doing that whole prep that we were planning on doing for ourselves, I would have went through with it, but I don't think I would have went through with that performance that I had on stage, because I wouldn't have had that confidence. Like, I would have been too unsure of myself. Like, I remember a lot of our conversations that we've had when we first started doing this shit. I kept saying, I'm mentally and physically can do this shit. Nobody, I don't have no a level of my capacity where it's like flawed. You know, those aspects. Can't nobody outwork me in this weight room. Physically, mentally, I'm him, and I've always thought that. But this posing shit, what I say?
Once you get the posing down, yeah, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
And I'll put that on display.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I have motherfucking IFBB pros coming up to me, giving me their numbers, telling me that your posing is superior. I would love to help you just tweak a little bit out just to help you, because you're going to be a star in this shit. So it's like...
Damn. No, I definitely see it. I definitely see it. Just like from my own perspective, just to offer it, it kind of feels like sometimes I like the opportunity to kind of like take the back seat of what you're doing and just like kind of feel like I'm along for the ride. And don't get me wrong, I have every aspiration and intention of going down as like the greatest of all time. But sometimes it's like, it's just kind of nice to sit. Like, I'm in men's physique. You know, like,
I keep telling them.
I'm not the star right now, you know? I want to make sure that all right, yeah.
Nah, you're definitely the star.
I'm a star. Say something?
What's up? You're definitely one of the stars too.
Okay, so my mic was off, which is fine because we're getting multiple coverage, but I'm glad that your mic was on the entire
But
time.
I mean, it's like right now we're just competing in two different stardoms. Like,
Yeah, hey, listen.
you get to take, and I don't know. I feel like in every person that I've met, like within the bodybuilding community, nobody really cares for the men's physique.
Of course, yeah.
Because it's like the babies of the sport.
Yeah, and one thing I want to clarify, like my entire life, so I've always been attracted to talent. You know, like I surround myself with people that have similar interests and are talented in the thing that like I have the interest in. So when I first got into acting, my closest friend was a better actor than me, but I learned how to act through watching him act. Same thing with you. It's like, all right, Valley, like you're a natural talent, like you're a little natural talent. Me personally, I would say that my talent is the assessment of talent. And then it's like, okay, that's what this guy's good at. How can I improve my skills to get to his level? And like, that's like, you're doing that for me. So far as your conditioning, so far as your stage presence, so far as your posing, like I am absorbing that. And it's like, I take the back seat, you be the star. And it's like, hey, I'm going to beat you.
And what's so crazy to me, like, I can't really dance. Like, I don't, you know how most black people can do all that, like, certain shit, pop lock, or maybe, only thing I can do is, like, bump and grind on a bitch at a party.
I could barely do that.
Yeah, I know how to do that real good, but, but besides that, there's not too much of me knowing how to dance, but that's why I was always, like, my poses used to feel just stiff, like, I just felt like a big-ass robot.
Right.
I used to say, once I figured this shit out, it's a wrap. And once I understood that the hands make the body, wherever this go, the body leads after.
Right.
So it's literally like you're just flowing like water. So your hands can't go this way and your body's over here and you have to, it's a flowiness to it. So everything is like, once I figured out, it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but how my brain works is when people say certain words, it triggers something in my brain like, oh, that's what he's talking about? Because when we were with Coach, and he's teaching me how to do that back double bi, you're trying to get me to sit down and pop the hammy out. And I already had the hamstrings at that time, but I couldn't flex them. Mm-hmm. Remember, I couldn't pop them for shit. Mm-hmm. He told me, like, and this is why I think he's a great-ass coach, because in the back of his mind, he's like, fuck, I'm going to have a problem with him. But the person that I am, that week we came back from DMF and Indio, that's all I worked on. That's why that week I was frustrated with you. Like, bro, we got to get on this posing shit. I was on his ass, like, bro, like, that's gonna be my biggest problem. That's gonna be the reason why I don't want to do this shit. And I was mad, like, bro, you're not taking this shit as serious as me because I keep telling you everything else I'm cool with. Posing is my biggest flaw, and if I don't get this shit down, I'm not gonna feel comfortable doing this shit, bro. And that was once I remember being in that fucking that zoo culture fucking being in the posing room.
Wasn't it Damien or it was?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was Damien.
Fucking Damien, bro.
Yeah.
Remember being right there in front of the fucking cable machine,
Yeah.
bro, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you gotta just do this," and I don't even remember the fucking words he said.
Yep.
I think he said something like, "You just gotta sit down," or
Yeah.
no, he said it's like you're curling up
You're
you're curling your toes.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh," and as soon as I did it, because I had them pop for a minute, but it would always fade away. Once I hit the double by, it would fade away because I didn't know like how to have my foot position. Once I learned that I heard him say that, every time I did it, it hit. I'm like, wow. And it was from there, it was a wrap. Like, I started to pick up certain shit. I would go home, like, even if I would just go home and do posing for 30, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, if I just went through my routine or exhausted every fucking pose that I knew, I would go home and do that every fucking day. Every day until I probably didn't record this shit, but I would do that every day until I felt comfortable with what I was presenting. And then I would stop, go downstairs, make my meal prep, get ready for work or practice or whatever the fuck I had going on and shit like that. But it's been amazing, bro. Like,
So before Alec got here, you made a comment I thought was pretty interesting. I focus on the how and you focus on the why. I want to ask you the question, why do you think things have worked out so well in the past 6 months? Like, why is it going so well for us?
as far as what?
Everything, the success that we've achieved, the wins, the momentum, the outpour of support, all of it.
Shit, because we sure of ourselves. We ain't left no room for no doubt in anything that we doing.
Okay.
There's nothing else that I have to or can say on that. Like,
Yeah.
there ain't, we haven't, we if there's anybody else doubting us, hey, that's cool. But we haven't. We're really sure of everything, the movement that we got going on, the people that we are, the people that we're surrounded with, the body that we have, everything that we have.
Surety. Yeah. Yeah, so it's like confidence.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So I guess when we say like, oh, we're destined to be the greatest of all time, and we say it with our chest, and then like we actually do the stuff to...
It's coming.
Yeah, and then there's no point for a person to doubt us because...
There's going to be people doubting us anyway.
Right.
But, like I've always said, I'm not in the lifestyle of trying to change people's mindset about me. Because what I do is what I'm going to do and continue to do, and the people that like me are going to continue to like me. I can't change a person that doesn't like me for shit. Didn't we just hear people on Zoo Culture, the Zoo channel saying get him off of the channel?
Yeah.
For what? I ain't did shit to nobody. So now you think I give a fuck about that? I don't, because you know why? You're still feeding into energy about me. Because no matter what, good or bad, you're still giving me some type of fucking...
Right.
So, hey.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not in the game of, oh, well, why don't you like me? Let me fix that.
Yeah.
No.
All right, let me ask you, I want to get your perspective on this, and this could be like an over analysis. But what I've noticed in like the past 6 months of like the support that we've been getting, all right, whenever someone comments on our shit, you guys already are the faces of natural bodybuilding. All right, I'll start with that. You guys already are the faces of natural bodybuilding. How do you feel when a person says that?
I feel like I am. Fuck. Like, I don't know why because this is exactly why I went outside when you said the hows and the why. You're like, how are we? How are we the faces of natural? We haven't, for one, because I've said I was. That's why. What the fuck are you talking about? I said I was. It ain't how. Right. I said I was, and I am. Yeah. Simple.
Yeah.
Now, everything that I've done to say that I was and what I've been speaking to, I just proved it.
You know?
Because everybody doubted that shit, too.
Yeah. You know?
It was probably in our face smiling like, yeah, they look good. They doubted us, bro. Everybody at Zoo doubted us, nigga. Let me tell you right now to your face. Even with what Eric said yesterday, I took that as a compliment. That's dope.
What did he say?
No, him saying like I had all that stage presence, and I'm not saying I'm knocking Eric.
Yeah.
Don't,
Eric's
if
great,
you
Eric's
watch
great,
this, please don't think like that.
Yeah.
But he said it himself. He was nervous his first time, so he was already expecting us to be as nervous.
Right, but we're performers.
So it's not like he was knocking us, but everybody was already expecting us to have some type of slightness and flaw in our game.
Okay.
I'm not him.
Yeah. Nor am I.
I know why I'm doing this. I know why I'm the shit. I know why because I say I am.
You know what I think my issue is, and I relate this to Eminem. Like he's always got this chip on his shoulder to like prove that he's like one of the greatest or the greatest of all time when it comes to rapping, and like every time he like.
And that's the problem.
I know, but like
because you're trying to prove something
that's already true. Already true.
You shouldn't have to prove something that's like if that's what it is. It's what it is.
Right, and it would seem
because the rappers, even it was off topic, but the rappers that are in his realm, they put him there.
Yeah, I know.
So the niggas that are below him trying to say he's not the greatest, it doesn't. Why do you go back and stoop to that another nigga level when they're not even at your level?
Lil Wayne and fucking Jay-Z and Nas.
So it's like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I'm definitely developing that. So it's like when a person calls me the face of natural bodybuilding, I'm like, ooh, no, I gotta earn that, you know. I gotta earn that title, and
it's not that we ain't earned it. Like, who else has? Okay, there's a million people on the internet saying that they natural, right?
Sure.
There's a million motherfuckers on there saying that they the natty king, they the natty this, they the natty that. Watch this. How many people know of them?
That's the problem with natural bodybuilding. Yeah. That's the problem.
So like I was saying earlier about my boy Kendall.
Shout out Kendall.
Shout out to my boy Kendall. You know he's cool. You know. But I'm gonna say it like it's the truth.
Oh man.
He is the guy. He's the top guy in the natural world. Like, and I don't knock anything about him, but to add anything to that and why I feel like we are definitely going to surpass everything that he's ever been able to do is the personality that we bring. He doesn't have that. He doesn't bring character. He doesn't bring spice. He doesn't bring excitement. He doesn't bring, oh my God, when people see Kendall, it's like, oh my God, there's Kendall. Hey. That's what you're going to get from bro. And that's how I feel. I don't really know him personally, but I've watched a lot of his videos. He's very monotone. He's very like, it doesn't seem like he's interested in a lot of shit that he's even on. So it's like, I'm giving life to anything that I'm on because this is what I'm doing. Like I'm in it. Like, and I'm trying to prove something, and not to a lot of people, to myself. I said what I was, so now I'm trying to prove this to myself. I don't give a fuck about y'all, but y'all saying that I am, and thanks, appreciate it. But I already know who the fuck I am. Bottom line, it's that simple.
That was something I wanted to touch on. As great as our physiques are, I would say that our voices are even more impressive.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Because you can have that, bro. Come on, bro. You know, again, there's a million people in the world. We don't have the best physique.
I know.
And I'm not saying like that I won't eventually.
Yeah.
I will have one of those top when they talk about who has ever had the. They're going to talk about Valley, for sure.
Yeah.
They're going to talk about you. But I promise you, they're also going to talk about how much excitement we brought back to this sport.
Fucking footnote that shit.
So when people go to these shows, and people only really get excited to go to pro shows.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy to me. Like, the sport of bodybuilding only brings out people in crowds when it's a pro show at Olympia's, Arnold
Classic, yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
But we gonna show y'all. Y'all gonna watch. I'm not gonna speak on it too much because I'm gonna just show y'all like I've been showing y'all, man.
All right, so we've made a lot of progress in the past 6 months so far as networking, just fucking the fact that we're competing. Like, I would say that everything's going according to plan. In fact, if things were going better than they already are, people would think like, okay, this shit's fucking scripted. Like, that's how good things have been going. The reason I wanted to even sit down with you is obviously I wanted to talk about the past 6 months, but I also want to talk about the future. So we have another show coming up in November. Mm-hmm.
if you remember, there was like a couple months ago, I was like, I was sitting down, I was thinking, what do I want to have happen between now and our first show? And remember, the thought was like, nothing. I don't need anything to happen between now and the first show. Are we still there, or is there anything that you want to have happen between now and our next show?
I would like to get a little bit more size, if it's possible.
Okay.
I know we have a short time frame to do it, but if it's possible, I'd like to. But other than that, like I'm not really too focused on anything besides like trying to perfect my my last routine. I got 2 new routines that I've been working on, but I told myself that I'm only gonna stick to that last routine until it's like perfected. So that's really my biggest goal, like trying to make sure that everything that I fucked up in a sense that I didn't hit right on stage the last time, which I'm happy for me being able to critique this shit. Like that's how I know I'm like becoming like a student of this game, because it's like I can see why I took second in the overall. I can see why, like in the beginning, I'm thinking shit, there's no way, or it's like not possible, but and not like that, because my boy Jake is amazing. He looked fucking amazing, but it was like, you know, everybody wants to win, and he's even hopped on his story the day after, 2 days after, and was like gave a dope ass explanation about it. It was like pretty much like you know, we all coming to this show like trying to obviously get that top spot. We all looking to be number 1, you know what I'm saying? And it's like when you don't get it, you don't, you know, you feel some type of way in a sense, but you don't, because you immediately, you know, show some type of camaraderie to the person that won, because in the back of your head you immediately understand like what it took to get that, you know what I'm saying, to even get up on this stage, the amount of time it took during the prep, the meal preps and the workouts and everything like that. So you have no choice but to respect the opponent, you know what I'm saying? And I've definitely valued learning everything that I've got to experience that night, because being in this sport is not like playing in any other sport that I've played. Baseball, basketball, football, anything like that, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like I don't feel like I've ever lost to an opponent in any one of those sports and like still wanted to like I wanted to necessarily shake their hand or be their friend. Like I just didn't, because like I was a different kind of dog, you know what I'm saying? But each man that's on this stage, bro, we're built the same way. We come from the same cloth. Like every man is built the same in a sense. And it's like for everyone to stand up on this stage and try to display their best physique or their best self, it says a lot about a person. So I've definitely grown. I've grown to respect this sport and the people in it a lot.
Fuck yeah. All right, so when you described what you would like to have happen between now and the next show, it was primarily in the realm of preparing for your next show, so far as putting on size, perfecting your posing, things of that nature.
What about you?
So the thing that I'm thinking about, and I want to say that like I'm all for this, kind of going back to what I said months ago, which is like all we gotta do is focus on our next show. I'm down for that. One thing that I am starting to observe, and I already observed this, is that if we don't prioritize content creation,
We're gonna fall off.
not necessarily fall off, but all right, so the way I see it, I see 2 routes, right? I see one route where it's like, okay, we're doing everything ourselves. Content creation, like we're generating it and like we're prioritizing it, and that will give us like one route to exposure, yada, yada, yada. The other option is we dabble in content creation. We don't make it like our top priority. Instead, what we're focusing on is like, oh no, we're aiming to be the greatest natural bodybuilders of all time. That's what we're focused on. Through that, we assemble a team. Like people see what we're doing, and we make enough content for people to like latch on. Like, oh, they're telling a story. Their content's a bit inconsistent, and yada yada yada. But like we everyone understands what we're doing, and then through that, we're able to kind of amass a bigger following. It's just not at the same level as if like that was our only focus, if that makes sense. So it's like what we're doing is athlete or fitness influencer. And if we're doing a fitness influencer, then the consistency of the content has to go up way more. But if we're doing athlete, then we can...
I'm definitely an athlete. I've never liked the word fitness influencer.
Right.
Like I don't.
Right.
That doesn't really fit me. But I feel like we can put both of them together. I mean,
I
we
agree.
can still do what we've been doing. Like, I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with the way we've been posting shit. When we post, that shit gets.
Okay, I'm with you on that because the way I looked at it, it was the choice between artistic and generic. What I've been aiming for is artistic, where it's like if it's organic, it's like, oh, I think I would like to post that, as opposed to generic, which is like, all right, Monday we post food, and then Tuesday,
Oh,
yeah.
Shit, if you notice, like, I've posted little shit here and there. I still got some shit that I still have to post, but that ain't prioritized to me no more, bro.
Okay.
Like, shit. You didn't realize when I first met you, that's what I was trying to get you to not focus on.
All right,
Like,
so we're on the same
like,
page
I
about
don't-
that. Yeah.
That shit, like, cause at the end of the day, bro, like, we got our dog Alec here helping us out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I only like the people that are going to help come around us and help us and see what we got going on and want to lend a helping hand.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Right now, I'm too focused
Okay.
and too absorbed in what I got going on as an athlete to really care about pushing out this massive content
Right.
every fucking day.
Okay.
I did that shit for 3-4 years straight, and this is where it got me. I found my lane.
Okay.
I'm not trying to find a lane anymore.
All right.
I'm in this lane, and now when I get to where I'm going and I can able to provide and support the motherfuckers that's around me, I'll have it every day. I can do the shit that Eric's been doing and shit
Yes,
like that. I don't
okay.
have it like that, so until it gets there,
Okay.
I'm gonna continue to progress.
Yeah, and I'm on the same exact page.
I mean,
as
shit,
just
that's
wanted
why I'm trying to. That's why, like, shit. Now that we talked about the job switch.
Yeah.
Like, I found my lane. I'm about to go back into plumbing because now I don't care to be at Zoo Culture at 11 o'clock
Right.
during the day no more. Like, I'm about to go get another job. I'll go work at the gym at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, go to work at 7, get off, go to football practice, coach the kids, and then go back to the gym.
Damn.
Now I can do what Arnold and Schwarzenegger was doing. That's why I'm trying to figure out how the fuck were they working out 2 times a day? How? I understand it because they had a regular life. Niggas weren't they weren't just trying to content was that's
Yeah.
what's killing niggas. Trying to just push content. And that's where I fell off over the last, and I wouldn't say because I wouldn't even say I fell off. I fell off in myself from trying to like find my lane because I was trying to surround myself with so much and absorb so much, which I'm glad that I did do because it's where I'm at now. But now that I have found my lane, I have to ride that shit, bro. Because that's what I've been in the community so long for trying to do. That's why I came to Zoo Culture, trying to find my lane. I never wanted to do the funny content. I never wanted to do that. I was trying to go viral off of weird, crazy shit, doing acrobatics, crazy stunts and shit in the gym.
Yeah.
Did it a few times. I went viral doing fucking handstands on fucking shopping carts and shit like that. It worked for a little bit, but then after a while, it's like, how much value does that have? Or what kind of brand is going to... What does that bring to a brand?
Right.
So it's like, now that I have really found that, and again, like I go back to what I just said. If I would have known bodybuilding made money, I wouldn't have been trying to go viral. I would have been trying to get my body right to be a bodybuilder. Like, and that's where the story would have started a long time ago. But again, I'm glad I told you this. I wouldn't have been as great as I am.
Right.
Because I'm in the time that I'm supposed to be in right now. I'm living in the moment right now where I'm supposed to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we are on the same page about organic content, spontaneous, doesn't really need to be any kind of structure or consistency to it. I'm for that. I just wanted to hear it from you too. One observation I made over the past 6 months is that you and I have very, very similar talents and skills, but we have very different styles. So just in like the realm of bodybuilding, like you've got your own physique that is impressive, and then I've got my own, and it's very different. Like we have very different physiques. We have very different stage presence and communication skills, and just how we present ourselves like to the world are very different stylistically. And I think that's really cool, and it creates a very good complement for each other. And then at the same time, I want to touch on the fact that like, yeah, we're developing our skills and our talents as bodybuilders, but let's also not forget that like you yourself are a natural performer and a natural leader. And watching those skills blossom over time is also something to take into consideration.
For one, like, it's crazy because, like, I go back now, like, now that I think about it, I have always been a performer my whole entire life.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I always want to look presented. Like, that's why my presentation is always always key, because that's part of performance. Like, looking good, play good. Like, that go off that Deion Sanders, look good, play good, feel good. Like, and that's how I've always been. But it's like I just remember as a kid, I remember my grandmother bought me some fucking Stacey Adams. I went to a graduation from one of my cousins, but anyway, about Stacey Adams, I was wearing these Stacey Adams, bro, like in the house, damn near every day type shit. I was so in love with Michael Jackson, dog. Like my grandfather used to work for his family, so I used to have all these stories about what he used to do for his mom and like how close he was with the family and stuff like that. So I naturally when Jackson 5 and shit come on, like we were sitting there watching with our grandfather and shit like that. But I was the one that would hop up. I couldn't dance for shit, but I'd hop up trying to do the little Michael Jackson impression and shit like that, do my little fake moonwalk or whatever. But that was like my thing. And like when I think about it now, bro, like the performer that I am, it's more because of my grandfather. And I can say that the presence that I bring on that stage or in anything that I do is more than likely because of my grandfather too. And I remember like shit. I remember midway through to this prep. I remember it was like maybe 2 months into the cut. Like after that time we had came back from coach and he had got done telling me, man, if you don't get your shit right, Bobby, you're just gonna be doing men's physique. And I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. But he gave it to me straight, like, and I respected that. Like that wasn't gonna happen. I just remember, bro, for that day forward, bro, I was going home, shit coming from the gym. I'm walking to my to the high school that I coach at, and that's a 2-mile walk. I'm walking there and walking back. Like that's the type of shit that I was doing. Like and I just remember one time it was like on a Saturday or some shit, and I was just doing cardio. And the first time I ever walked like to the school or this far, like this is how I knew I could actually do it. But I'm walking and I'm listening to the same song over and over. And I've told you this before. Like when I find a song on my playlist that's there, like if it's giving me that vibe, like I'm not changing it because it's like I got so much music on my phone for one. If I gotta flip through this shit just to find that vibe again, I'm just gonna change it back to this one. Like, I ain't got time to do that shit. So I just kept that motherfucker on repeat. And it's my boy De Niro, Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bean or some shit like that. And when I tell you, bro, it's just like it's a song pretty much telling you I got a couple of speeches of Kobe speaking in it and talking about his resilience and like not being at the finish line yet, job not finished, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that. And I just like remember on this day particularly like looking up to the clouds, and it's only two reasons that I look up to the clouds. Like obviously is, it's where I got people that I've lost, but my best friend and my grandfather. But on this particular day, like I felt my grandfather's spirit like heavy, like real fucking heavy, and I don't know why, but it's like anytime I've like over the last few times I've felt his spirit. But this time I started talking to him, like, and I don't even feel crazy because I do it all the time. Anytime I feel my grandfather's spirit, I'll talk to him. But I was like really started crying, like telling him like shit, I got you. I remember him vividly telling us like as a kid, like that's all he ever wanted for us. Like the Jackson 5 was what like family values in a sense was, even though they had that fucked up dynamic that the world sees and shit like that, but he always wanted us to be on the big screen. It don't matter if it was for sports, if it was for this, if it was that. He just wanted us to be able to feel that, like, wanted or something. And that's the only way I can explain it now, because he never explained why. But on that walk, I just remember telling my grandfather, I'm gonna be the reason that this shit changes for our family. And that's why I'm like so embedded in this shit, because it's like I'm not just an athlete because I'm trying to be the greatest natural bodybuilder. Yeah, that's gonna happen. I've already spoke on that, but it's really bigger than me, bro.
Oh yeah, man. That's fucking amazing. That's fucking amazing. I have to take a piss. I'll be right back.
I'm about to take a shit.
Yeah. Okay, cool. DMF, White Rabbit, that entire thing. All right, so let's just do like a quick recap. Met you towards the end of October, beginning of November-ish, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know this, the idea to do the documentary didn't occur until after I met you. I always knew that, like,
I am the star.
Yeah. Well, shit. like and just to like put it in perspective as to how it went down, I always knew that I wanted to tell a story about health and wellness and a figure in that world, and tell that in the entertainment industry. So I wanted to bring that story to Hollywood. When I met you, I was like, oh, natural bodybuilding.
This nigga's a star.
Yeah. I was like, natural bodybuilding. So we can still do the health and wellness story, but now we're actually going to turn it into a sport. We're going to make it competitive. We're going to have athletes. That's like, and like, it just kind of became that. I met you. A week later, I'm pitching you the idea. You're on board. And it's like, okay, let's fucking go for this. Immediately, we started networking. That's how we met DMF. That's how you were already connected with White Rabbit. So like, let's get into that. Let's get into like the team that we're building.
Man, I can almost cry right now. Like, this. First of all, shout out DMF, the dopest team on the planet right now. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't just because we a part of them. They was doing big shit before we having to, you know, step on with them. But like he said, I met him like late October, November last year. We instantly became like real close. I don't know why, I don't know how it happened, but for whatever reason, you know, I don't really believe in coincidences. I truly believe whatever the higher power, God, whatever you guys believe in, he knew what I was like looking for. He knew I was like trying to find myself within this industry that I'm been so deeply rooted in for so long now. And he presented a friend like that I definitely see in my life for the rest of my life. So it's like he pitched this idea to me about natural bodybuilding. Pitched his idea to me about natural bodybuilding, and I was sold on it at first immediately, obviously because of the fact that it was like, you know, something organic, something I've never heard before. And like little by little, I was a little bit unsure of it in a sense, because I'm like, what is the point? Like, what is the whole meaning of this? Or what is like, yeah, I get you saying we're gonna be the face of natural bodybuilder, but I'm thinking like, shit, everybody on the internet saying that they natural or saying that they this or that. So it's like I didn't understand how big of a movement we could have because I didn't understand it yet. But we were at the gym with some people that we were hanging out with at that time, and one of them had asked Sean while I was working out right behind him, was like, hey man, so like what is the real meaning of what you guys going on, or what's the point of blah blah blah? And like in my own perspective, I can't remember exactly what Sean said, but the way I took his words, it was like what Michael Jordan, what Arnold Schwarzenegger and like pioneers of a sport did before the sport like really took off. That's what we gonna do for natural bodybuilding. And it was like, I'm working out, but the moment I heard him say that, I turned up like, oh, I was already sold. But now that I know what the fuck we're about to do, and he'll tell you, because it was like, it really hit for me now. It hit so hard. I'm like, okay, because now it was so hard for me to understand, like, okay, well, what are we gonna do with natural bodybuilding? Like, how are we gonna be these big people that you keep saying that we're supposed to be or whatever? Like, even though like I believed it, but I still didn't like how are we. That was what it was. That's what it took. And like we were just saying a minute ago, like key words that people would say to me that it made like, oh, that's what it took for me to understand, because I was already in it, but it was like that's what it needed for me to be like, oh, okay, so. People remember Michael Jordan because he came into this game. He's the reason why they stopped wearing them little ass itty bitty shorts, for one. They pulled them shorts down. He's the godfather of the game, and he didn't start the game. Arnold came into this bodybuilding shit, and he did what he. So it's just like, so that's what you said we were. Okay, cool. I got you. Let's run it. And it was all for it. From there, it was downhill. I'm balls to the wall. Let's do it. We was doing a little bulking or whatever we call it, prep that we had going on for ourselves. And the reason I don't think that I would have been this good, because doing the prep for ourselves, like, I wouldn't have been able to mentally be able to eat as much as I'm eating now, because I'm not doing it just for I would have been doing it just for myself. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm part of a team, and it's like I'm doing it not just for myself, but for everybody else that's involved with me. So we was on that journey, And you know, I'm sponsored by White Rabbit. Shout out to White Rabbit, the greatest energy on the planet. Different. That's a different energy, for sure. But I met them and I got that sponsored through Larry Wills. He invited me out to the launch party for White Rabbit back in like I want to say October, like right before we had met, and we hit it off. And I found out that they were going to be at the Fitness Expo coming up. I think it was January.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to be at the Fitness Expo, and I was supposed to be with C4, but C4 ended up like canceling their booth. They didn't go to the Fitness Expo or whatever. So I was a little bummed out. But I was going to the Fitness Expo regardless, but I wasn't trying to pay. So, you know, I hit up on my other sponsor, like, shit, y'all need anybody else? Like, shit, I would love to come out and like, and I really fuck with them. Like now, C4 couldn't call me unless they got a multi-million-dollar bag to come do some shit. They couldn't call me to do shit for them. White Rabbit takes care of me like like no other. So, but so yeah, they said, yeah, hell yeah, Valley, we'd love to have you. Blah 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 blah. Shit. I realized that he would have been coming with me, so shit, I reached back out to him, like, look, I got my boy, I don't know if you guys have extra tickets, you think I can bring him with me? They're just like, yeah, just let me know what his name is. So I got him on the list. Shit, we ended up going there. That Saturday, that's when we ended up meeting our coach for the first time. And like he said it, man, he don't believe in coincidences. Like it was just destined the way it was supposed to line up like that, man. We came out, met them. I just remember him like staring at us like all the time, but it wasn't like no stares where it's like, bro, what the fuck is this nigga staring at? You can tell he like peeping the physique a little bit or whatever. And I just remember him asking us like when he got a chance, like, man, what do y'all do? I'm like, shit, we bodybuilders. He's like, the fuck, like, for real? He's like, shit, I'm a coach. I'm like, damn, that's crazy to do. He's like, man, we told him we were natural and gave him our Instagram. And he told us after the fact. He didn't tell us then, but he told us after. He's like, bro, you're thinking about myself. I looked at these motherfuckers on Instagram. He said, these motherfuckers are natural. Pfft, watch what I do with these motherfuckers. And I was just like, when he finally told us that after the fact, it was like, that was dope because he already saw or knew what a motherfucker was, you know, what we possessed. You know what I'm saying? But when we met them, man, it was just... It was an instant connection, bro.
Yeah, it was.
Instant, like, yeah. They vibe with us. We vibe with them. Shit, our first time, like I said, like 2 weeks after meeting them, we went out to go to work out with them, and it was hell. I'm not even gonna sit here and act like it wasn't. I mean, I'm definitely built for anything that a person can throw at me in a weight room or any type of setting in life, but it was definitely hell. But I didn't show it. I wasn't going to show it at all because that's just how I am. Like I don't show weakness. Like you wouldn't even know I threw up if I did, because I didn't throw up that day. But if I did, I'm not gonna tell you, oh my god, I'm gonna throw up or anything like that. I'm about to go do this. I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Come back. I'm with a smile on my face because that's just my demeanor. But my dog Sean, he was like a little out of sync, because it's like the first time we'd ever been in a environment where people were actually pushing us this hard, because between the two of us we weren't able to do that. But we were around some monsters. My boy D Will, Coach Mel, we had Endo working out with us, and Coach Theron, and I'm talking about they were busting our ass, bro, like busting our ass. And I had to get him like out of his mind, because you can see it, like he was so sunken into his own body, like he did not want to be where we were at. And I had to tell him, like, bro, this is our only chance to prove to them that we deserve to be a part of this team. Because from where I come from, you only get one shot. You only get one chance, and this is my only chance right now to prove to these motherfuckers that I deserve to be here. And when it boiled down to it, they even said it. That really was our test, and shit, we surpassed it. Each week we went out there, we just grew. We grew as athletes, we grew as people, and we grew as teammates with the people that we met out there. DMF it ain't even like a team. To be honest with you, it's like a big ass family. To be honest with you, man, and I'm just so happy to be a part of it. Gilbert and Theron have they've done something in the CV, Coachella Valley, that I don't think anybody has been able to do. I'm not from that valley, but I will say that the community that they have built and that has, you know, been coming through and out those doors, it just speaks volumes to the people that put it together. Because am I lying about anything? Like the older people, the younger people, like it's just it's a big family. Like, and even at our show, shit, we had about 50 to 100 people from DMF at our fucking show, and they weren't like, they were just there just to see the team, like the people that they go to the gym and talk to. They like people that they're not performers, not other athletes, nothing like that. Just people that are a part of the gym, like how we expected to see zoo people there. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't get that. But it's cool. I'm not, you know, people got their own agendas and shit like that. But that's why I say, like, yeah, like I said earlier, all these people are smiling on our face. They want us.
Right.
But nobody really thought we were going to do what we did, bro. I can promise you that, except for the people that were there.
All right, so I got two things to say. First thing I want to say is what I'm so grateful for when it comes to DMF and Coach Theron specifically is I came in to this project with a lot of confidence in my own genetic ability. I always thought that like my physique was supreme, and I was just excited to like go like, okay, I'm committing to the sport of bodybuilding. I'm gonna fucking peak the fuck out of my physique. It's gonna look great, right? What I wasn't prepared for was the mental transformation, and DMF, I give 100% credit to my mental transformation in the past 6 months. I even listen.
I'm about to say slightly me too. So.
Well, yeah, you
ain't about to discredit.
But
me,
you're part of DMF.
Okay.
You're part of DMF.
All right.
Like no, the entire team. Like because as you were talking, I was thinking about like really the first 2 months of this year. Even like we're at DMF and Coachella Valley, but even when we were at Zoo Culture, like even some of the content that we captured that first 2 months at Zoo Culture, where you're going like, yo, like I'm so sick of being the one to push. I'm sick of being like.
I forgot about that shit.
Yeah. So it wasn't just that one experience at DMF. Like I had to literally catch up.
I'm sitting here. I remember that day vividly. I'm like, bro, I see when you're about to struggle, and I help you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see when I'm getting ready to struggle. I need to help. Like I can't be the only one.
Help me get to failure. I remember that. Like
I was hot. Like I was hot.
Like you see me helping you get to failure. Like why aren't you doing that for me? You know.
I was hot.
Yeah, and that was an adjustment for me. I remember the first 3 to 4 trips that we were making to DMF in that first couple of months. the 2.5 hour drive. I'm literally like,
well, that's about to kill me.
Yeah, like we're making the drive, and I'm just like,
while I'm over here chilling, waiting to get there. Like,
yeah,
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm trying to look relaxed, but like in the back of my head is like, yo, you got this, man. Like, like yo, like don't be no fucking bitch, you know. It's like I was literally like that, and you know, every time we went, it was more conditioning. It's like, yo, like, fucking go for this shit. Like, fucking go for it. Like, I started leaning into like wanting to be in pain. You know, it's like I want this to hurt. I want to fucking die on this set, and that would not have happened without you guys wanting that. And you know, just for the fucking sake of this conversation, I see the necessity of it because it transforms me into a better person. But so far as like the training, I wouldn't have understood the value because I've always been like Lee Haney, who's one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time, 8-time Mr. Olympia champion. He's a huge advocate of not training to failure. So he likes to train moderately. He likes to go into the gym, do his shit. Okay, I'm 3 reps shy of failure. I'm done. And then like move on to the next set.
But again, Lee Haney is on a lot of juice. So that man can go in there and move his finger muscle and get 2 new back deltoids or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? So,
and also like I want to clarify, like, for the type of growth that I personally need to experience over the course of this bodybuilding career, I do believe that like we have to train hard.
Oh no, that's why when I get this job,
we have to train hard. Yeah.
I'm going to 2 a days. 2 a days.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about no abs in the morning. I'm going 2 body parts a day.
Yeah, we can't do this casually. And
I got 8 years.
Yep.
12 to 13 tops.
Yep.
So I gotta double up workouts to maximize that. So if I got 10 years, that's 20 years
How do you feel about
in the way I'm gonna work out.
Michael Hearn and his claim that he's a lifetime natural? How do you feel about that?
Um, hmm. I mean, it really don't matter how I feel, in my perspective, because it's like how I think about it is like shit. We could never be able to prove it. It's just like, why would I try to discredit what a man is saying he is if I can go to him and be like, let's go try to prove it. There's no way for anyone in the world to be like, let's go back and check his hair follicles and see if he's ever taken anything.
Right.
There's no way. So
Right.
why do people? Because you're always going to be on the what if. And
Right.
if the man is really fucking natural, you just look like a fucking dumbass.
Yeah, yeah. For
That's
me,
my perspective.
Yeah, and I'm in the same. I have the same opinion. Michael Hearn has kind of made me curious as to, okay, if we're the faces of natural bodybuilding and like we're like the new kids on the block, it really does kind of, like you say, 8 to 12 to 15 years so far as his career is concerned. It makes me think like we should really, because people are already saying that we're setting the standard as to what people believe a natural physique can look like at its peak. Like, we are setting that standard. So it makes me curious, okay, so we're 30 now. If we're setting the standard, like, what's the standard for a natural peak physique at 50? And, like, we have that opportunity to, like, say, like, this is the standard. This is the best that a 50, like, a peaked natural physique could look like at 50. And I think that's a huge honor if you think about it.
Think about that.
Yeah, it's a huge honor because it's like, okay, Sean Fury and ValleyyMuscle, like, they're still getting it, you know? Yeah, I know.
Like, you know, a lot of those dudes that were great, that were on they can't continue to stay on it.
Exactly.
So they have to stop it.
Exactly.
So like they get decompressed a little bit, their body starts to change. Yeah, we're not gonna ever sag.
I know.
Like, our skin will never sag.
We will see the true progression of time in a natural physique. And, like, we have that opportunity to show that over the course of decades.
That's something I never thought about.
I've been thinking about that because of Michael Hearn. You know, because it's like, it's so questionable that he's a lifetime natural. Like, nobody really wants to believe it. He claims it, and, like, there's a lot of, you know, disagreement as to whether or not he is. But so far as our progression has been concerned, we're not really getting a lot of resistance. When we say that we're natural, the majority of the people go like, yeah, y'all are the boys. Y'all are the faces of natural bodybuilding. Like, they're very accepting of it. And we have that opportunity to take that into you know, our 40s and our 50s and go like, hey, if you want to look at a natural physique, a peak natural physique, look at these guys, you know? And I'll say on top of that, that gives me more incentive, because one thing I've experienced, I thought that I was fucking good after we ended this show, and I thought, like, you know, I'm locked in and everything like that. But my habits have not changed, where I'm able to prepare for a thing and be like, all right, this is the thing that I'm focused on. I'm dieting, I'm doing my cardio, I'm doing everything correctly. And then once that thing that I prepared for is over, I went back to, like, I rebounded. I rebounded incorrectly. It wasn't appropriate. I started eating more than I should have. Coach was disappointed at me. And when I think about our privilege and our honor to show what a natural peak physique can look like over the course of a lifetime, I know that such habits are irresponsible, because I'm not really showing myself as a good role model if, like, that's what my goal is, you know? So,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I went right back to eating on the plan pretty much.
Yeah, you did.
Like,
You did. But, you know, it's good to like have flaws, because it shows that we're human. Oh, the legs? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's still on it. But yeah, like, I will include the fact that I rebounded incorrectly after the show. Our show was 2 weeks ago. And, you know,
He's up 25 pounds.
25 is accurate. I gained 25 pounds in the past 2 weeks. Now, it's not fucking Larry Wheels. Larry Wheels did his first show a year ago. He gained like 50 in 4 days. So it's not that. Granted, he probably had more to gain. You know what I mean? But, like, yeah, I gained...
You still gained half of what Larry gained? That That's a lot.
It is a lot. It is
Half
a lot.
of, don't even weigh half of what that nigga weighs, I'm sure. And it's like,
Yeah. And I'm not proud of it. There were so many nights in the past 2 weeks where I was going to bed hurting.
I've only gained like 12, 15 pounds, if that.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm only disclosing this because I'm not perfect. I'm still just a human, just like everyone else, even though I might have like a bit of a superiority complex. I'm just being honest about it. And it's because I hold myself to a very high standard. So to discover that like I still have this issue with like my habits is like, okay, that's something for me to work on over the course of my career, because that's not the guy that I want to be. It's not the standard that I want to set for myself and for anyone who looks up to me and sees me as a role model. So that is a thing that I'm working on, and I'm excited to continue to improve. Yeah. How are we feeling about podcasts? That was a fun one that we did a couple days ago.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, I feel like that's just a great opportunity. Eric Thomas, I think you put me onto him. That dude.
E.T.
Yeah, I think that's going to be like a great segue outside of like, we're competing pretty consistently throughout the years, but
motivational speaking is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I don't know. I see that as an avenue. One thing that I think about when it comes to this project, and the documentary is obviously the rise of natural bodybuilding as seen through the eyes of its two biggest stars. It's a personal branding project, and the more we solidify that personal brand as the greatest natural bodybuilders of all time, it opens up more and more opportunities within the sport, within the industry, and within the entertainment industry, which are the things that we're focusing on so far as brand deals, sponsorships, different forms of content, television shows. Like, the level of opportunities are really limitless the more we solidify our brand as like, no, we are those dudes. So I really don't want to kind of limit anything to like what we actually have going for ourselves. And I mentioned Eric Thomas because your ability to speak is, I don't know if you know how good it is. So far as your ability to tell stories, your ability to motivate, inspire, things of that nature. So I really just want to like make it clear, like you have a lot of talent, not just as a bodybuilder, not just as a performer, but as a motivator, as a leader, as so many other things. Like, you can really make an impact with your brand. And I just wanted to make sure that was stated. Cool. Videographers, we're working with them. Thank you, Alec, by the way.
Anytime, guys, you know that.
Yeah. If there's anything that I have, so like, I'm really happy with everything that we've gotten done, and I'm so happy that we're on the same page so far as we're coming at this as athletes first, and we're competing to be as great of athletes as we can in this sport. And then everything else is kind of secondary, because everything else really should take care of itself the more that we focus on being as great as we can be. So from there, it always goes back to like that last time we had this kind of conversation where it's like, all right, what do you want to have happen between now and then? Get better. And it's really just that straightforward. So honestly, that's it.
That's pretty much it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great one.
Yeah, man.
It's been a dope journey so far. Met some crazy, amazing people along the way. And, we're only gonna meet that many more dope, amazing people as it gets,
I'll ask the generic question just for fun. What message or advice would you give to aspiring natural bodybuilders who look up to us and follow our journey?
Stay true to yourself.
Generic question, generic answer.
Stay true to yourself. I mean, it's just the truth. Like,
It's true.
I mean, there's nothing. That's what natural is about. That's what the movement that I'm trying to push is about. Shit, staying true to yourself. There's nothing else that I should or have to say.
Oh, that's actually a good talking point. We're basically wrapping up. So this is just like loose ends kind of thing. How do you think we're handling the actual contrast between natural and enhanced? How do you think it's going? Yeah, how do you think that whole thing's going?
I think we've done a good job. I feel like if we didn't, the people that are around us that we know that are friends of ours, they wouldn't feel as open still to be around us. They'd feel some type of way about us because we'd be, in a way, bringing shade to what they do or what they feel about the sport. And I don't think anybody sees our views as that. We're just being who we are.
Right. I think we've done a good job too. I think we've ruffled some feathers a little bit.
We've ruffled insecure feathers.
Yeah. And there's not, I've always thought
Us saying that we want to give natural bodybuilding a spotlight, if that rubs anybody wrong, like, that's your own insecurity, bro, because we're not trying to, in no scenario do I feel like we'd ever be able to be inferior or superior to the other side of the sport, which I am not even trying to do that. I'm just trying to bridge a gap to put us on the same stage.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to say, wipe these niggas away, we're the greatest. No. All I'm saying is that we shouldn't be down here and they're up here. We should be right here with them. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've always thought that at this point in my life, if a person doesn't like me, there's something wrong with the person.
Oh, for sure. This nigga, I don't know too many motherfuckers that don't like me. And if you don't like me, there's a few reasons why you probably don't like me, but hey, I'm gonna leave those reasons off camera.
Oh man, no, I'm happy with what we got. I think we covered as much as is worth covering. So
Sounds good.
To be continued. Next show is in November.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fucking killed it, guys.
Hell yeah.